my name is Nathaniel Le, and this is my final for Art History 155, Renaissance to Modern Art History. In this video, I'll be talking about Romanticism and its most famous German painter, Caspar David Friedrich. I'll be analyzing two of his paintings, Monk by the Sea and The Stages of Life. Therein, I'll discuss his use of the technique, on my pronunciation, Rückenfigur, and how it's used in the context of the paintings, and how they are characteristic of Romantic art. First, let's define some terms and context. Romanticism was an artistic movement that lasted from about 1789 to 1848, the start of the French Revolution to the revolutions of 1848. It's characterized by a return to emotion and passion that was seen as lost to the Enlightenment. Defined by a sublime feeling, Romanticism could best be summed up as conveying a feeling that goes beyond logic and measurement. This was achieved through the use of strong, dramatic lighting, made through loose, small, and close strokes in order to paint many small details and create a visual vividness. The color palettes were usually dull or featured only a handful of colors in order to highlight certain parts of the painting. This contrast lends itself well to create an emotional response, as it creates a dynamism in the composition. The movement also saw a return to naturalism, also notably against the Enlightenment's scientific ideals, which produced many beautiful and sweeping landscapes, a specialty that Friedrich is well known for, in order to portray human emotion through the awe and grandness of nature. One technique employed to convey the sublime was Rückenfigur, which means back figure in German, and describes an iconographic technique of a person having their back turned to the viewer. Although not the first to do so, Friedrich is most well known with his painting Wanderer Above a Sea of Fog, in which he combines the technique with his titular landscapes. Now let's move on to the painting. Let's start with Monk by the Sea, depicted as a small figure standing and looking out at a pitch-black sea on Rügen, an island off the German coast. Friedrich paints in a way that gives no interruption to the grandness of nature nor its size, as the painting is divided unevenly into three parts: the land, sea, and sky. The horizon falls unusually low, which makes room for the massive expanse of the sky, while also giving limited scope to the monk as he peers into the inky black, an effect heightened by the absence of any ships or trees that would usually adorn a landscape painting. The hazy feeling is also brought about by a technique called scumbling, in which colors are applied in thin layers upon each other to create a misty effect between the clouds. Finished in 1809, the painting portrays beautifully the anxiety and dread that came with the Napoleonic Wars, especially as the Habsburg and Austrian armies were defeated. Rückenfigur ties into the piece by placing a monk with his back to us and having him gaze into the horizon. With his back turned, the audience is invited to gaze at the sight he sees and ponder with him the spirituality and smallness of man in comparison to nature, an idea promoted by Romanticism and its rejection of Enlightenment ideals, which placed human logic at the forefront. But, in his own words when describing this painting, even if you ponder from morning to evening, from evening to the setting sun, to the setting midnight, you would still not be able to imagine, not fathom, the inscrutable beyond. Without this character, the monk, the landscape loses that invitation, even if it does retain most of its sublime elements of bleakness. The next painting is Stages of Life, made at the opposite end of Friedrich's career, only 5 years before his death in 1840. The painting shows a much brighter scene, with 5 people at varying ages of their life, as well as 5 ships at varying distances from the coast. There as to be showing his nephew and his 3 children. The elderly man is more probably him as he nears his death, Friedrich. The horizon only divides the painting into 2 parts this time, as the land is shown to stretch out more to the sides, thanks to the low perspective views, which creates a more relaxed composition. The 5 boats and the 5 people aren't a coincidence and seem to represent the voyage of life as he compares people's times living to the distance a ship is from the shore, with the ship on land representing those unborn or not here yet. The Rückenfigur only truly affects one subject in the painting, the old man, as he is the only one with his back fully turned from us. The others have a side profile. This creates an effect where we are invited to look and peer at the scene through the lens of the old man, or Friedrich, and contemplate our lives and the totality of it all. We follow his gaze from left to right, as the composition is imbalanced slightly in this way, toward the ships nearest the horizon in an almost Baroque diagonal. The color palette of the sky, a brilliant blue that washes to an orange, sets the time to evening, in which the day will soon close, much like Friedrich will soon die. The calm waves and soothing colors give the feeling of completeness, as if to say his life is fulfilling, and he's accepting his death. a statement that the audience feels vicariously seeing through the old man. In conclusion, I hoped you learned something about Caspar David Friedrich and his ingenious use of the Rückenflügel technique, which uses a turned back to place the viewer into his beautiful or bleak landscapes. Whether those landscapes be a black and endless sea to make you feel small, a calm and accepting ocean to show how far you've come from the coast, or a sea of fog to excite curiosity, through the power and size of nature and how they relate to the human subject, he explores the depths of human emotion and experience without telling you what to feel, instead only giving you a set of eyes to see the sublime from. As he puts it, a painter should paint not only what he sees before him, but also what he sees within himself. Thank you.